Let's tell another 1 million students that when they graduate, they will be required to pay only 10% of their income on student loans. And all of their debt will be forgiven after 20 years, and forgiven after 10 years if they choose a career in public service.
And who's going to pay for all that? Well, of course, you. And Neil says this is nothing but a new college welfare program. Well, it made me stand up when he said that.
You know, David, this is wrong on so many levels. I don't even know where to start, but maybe we should start with the labeling. Why doesn't he call it what it is? The Deadbeat Student and Socialization of Higher Education Program. That's exactly what it is. You know, just to tell you what this is, what it says is you take out a loan and then guess what? You don't have to pay it back. So what is it going to do? It's going to encourage people to go to college when they can't afford it and they have no intention of paying for it. It's going to increase costs because there will be more students wanting to go. It's just wrong.
When the deadbeat loan program, is that what this is?
I really don't see it that way. This isn't about underwriting beer bashes. This is about an investment in the future of the American economy. If you educate better, they will be able to earn more. They will have more flexibility in their jobs. Maybe we should stress certain majors like engineering or accounting, maybe a little boring and tough, but they contribute to the economy. I think helping people get more education is not just interesting and important, it is essential for the future of the world economy. Yeah. We want to be players there.
But Mike Ozania, why should you bother paying if you know that in 20 years it's all forgiven?
Well, besides that, David, less than half the people that get government-subsidized education ever end up graduating. This program, let's put it in baseball terms, it's a strikeout. Strike one, it's a government-mandated transfer of wealth. Strike two, it forces college costs up because you get an increase in demand without an increase in supply. And strike three is you're going to get more debt.
And EMAC, it's costing more money. And a new poll just suggests that only 12% of the American people want to spend more money. Most want to either cut or freeze spending.
I'll tell you, this is a singular outrage. The high college tuition costs in this country is so horrible. I can't tell you how upset this makes me feel. I'm almost saying, like, pass it along to Steve because I can't even talk. I'm so angry about this. But what you're underwriting is...
With the kiss, I'll
that's right. You're underwriting colleges that are behaving like hotel barons, like Donald Trump or Steve Wynn. These are fat cats who are blowing out their dorms like hotel rooms, adding ice skating rinks, you know, posh, Hogwarts-style dormitory rooms. And so you're going broke by degree because of this fat cat behavior. So people have to take it upon themselves in the free market to say, I'm not going to try to buy into this fake network of old boy network and, you know, this dot-com type bubble that's going on in college tuition prices because it's all by momentum. Right. People are saying, look, you don't have to buy an expensive college degree to think you can get a better education.
Well, Steve,
there are better choices out there.
What about the morality of this plan? The fact is we don't want to be a deadbeat society. We don't want to reward people who don't pay off their debts.
Well, that's right. We do need people to get higher education. But there's a trend here. The more the government aid there is, the higher the tuitions go, and the more administrative costs of colleges and universities go. How many hours does a typical professor teach in undergraduates today versus 20 years ago? We're the exact opposite direction. So get value for the money. We'll get the education. Just don't waste the money.
But, Mike, the question of values in general, I mean, what kind of value does this present to society?
Well, here's a value. You come out of college, you come out of law school, and you want to practice criminal defense or public interest law, right? But no, you can't because your payments are too high. You've got to go and practice a corporate law or something that's more lucrative instead. Now, look, we need
people cut back on things. They can pay off their debts.
Can they really?
Of course. People do it every day.
But you have to. But what he's smart about is saying, look, it's going to be this percentage of the income you earn when you come out. That gives you the freedom to choose.
Hold on, Ozania, do you want in? Go ahead.
Well, there's another part of Obama's program that we haven't touched on, which is it's a direct kickback to people that voted for him. If you go work for public service like the government and the union there, you have more favorable terms than if you work for the private sector and get one of these loans.
One part of this debate that needs to be addressed is that colleges are nonprofits, and they're supposed to dedicate a lot of their money toward tuition and not toward their endowments or their fat cat behavior, like hiring, you know, fat cat administrators and financial aid offices who do nothing. So yank their tax-exempt status, or or partially revoke it, and make them have an incentive to earn profits and an incentive to get those tuition costs down.
Stick with a carrot. What do you think, Neil?
Liz, you're not solving that problem. The only thing you're doing here is you're creating more demand. You're pumping more government money into the system, and the tuition will go up.
No, I'm saying take away that. No, I'm not. I'm saying take away that government prop that taxpayers support these colleges as nonprofits. Take it away or reduce it.
Steve?
The bottom line is, if they don't get a government subsidy, these institutions are quite capable of running themselves very efficiently and providing a first-grade education. And it's right that why subsidize government bureaucracies? Public service. Who creates the wealth that enables these universities to exist?
By the way, I know some colleges that do give us a first-grade education, but that's a whole other story. Quentin, you went in. Go ahead.
I think we're associating college too much with Ivy Leagues and upper-class institutions. Most colleges in this country, most higher education in this country, community colleges and state schools where teachers actually do have a pretty heavy load and students drop out because they are so poor they can't afford to stay there. They have to go back to work.
Ozanian, go ahead.
That's the reality of higher education.
A lot of students drop out because they're being essentially given an incentive to go to college in the first place, like a community college where the dropout rate is even higher, and they're only going to that school because they're given free money.
1 second, Neil.
No, Mike, they have to go to the short game and earn that month. They can't plan long-term. That's bad for the economy.
This is not going to change the availability of the loans. It's just a question of how they're going to be paid back. And that's the problem here.
Last word from Neil coming up next. It's the